I'm the chair of North Yorkshire Sport, and welcome to the North Yorkshire Sport Impact Report for 2020 to 2021. It's been an emotional year for all of us, one that will be seared in our memories for generations to come. What I want to do is offer 5 reflections of those 12 months. I'm going to go for A, B, C, D, E as a short-term way of remembering this. So A is for alliances. I want to say a great big thank you for all of the partners that have stood strong with us throughout the last 12 months. I'm thinking of colleagues at North Yorkshire Together, at North Yorkshire County Council, the Stronger Communities programme, our locality partners across all the communities, and of course Sport England and other investors that have made it possible for us to continue offering certainty when most of the year was chaos. B is for belief, and that's belief in our mission. Despite things closing, despite leisure centres closing, that didn't mean movement stopped. It didn't mean sport and physical activity had to stop. What it means is we had to find new ways of making that possible for people in all their different contexts. Home, outside, no space, crowded space, in their neighbourhoods, making that possible. So our belief has been 100%. C is commitment. Thank you to all of the North Yorkshire Sports staff for being so committed this year. David Watson and your team, you are amazing. And everything you've faced, your own individual and the collective resilience you've shown has been outstanding. Similarly, my trustees, I can't thank you enough for all the hard work you do behind the scenes to make sure that the conditions are there for us to continue doing the things that we want to do, make a difference in people's lives. D's for delivery, because we still have to do stuff, and with over 20 projects delivered in many communities of all sorts of sizes across York and North Yorkshire, with young people, with children, with the help of schools, with families, with working age adults, with people far away from the labour market seeking jobs and seeking to find that next step up, with older people. I think you'll find we've touched the lives of thousands of those in creative ways this year. And E is for equality. In fact, it's actually for inequality, and how we've learnt more about it, and how we'll continue and strive to fight for social justice and make sure that sport does its bit to address unfair inequalities that make it possible for people to have accessible and inclusive opportunities. I'll grab an F if I may as well, and that's for the future. And I see a future that actually is full of hope and optimism, not just for the charity and the team that will be relentless in delivering its mission, but because society has a new relationship with movement now. And I think we'll capitalise on that with the support of you. If you're tuning in because you're one of our partners, let's stay strong together and continue to make a difference to people's lives across York and North Yorkshire in the future. Thank you for all you do. Enjoy the rest of the film.
Strategic Goal 1 demonstrates how we contribute to healthy, thriving communities across North Yorkshire. We are driven by tackling inequalities that exist in the county and using sport and physical activity to improve health and well-being for people and in places. The sector showed real adaptability during the lockdown and through restrictions. However, this has resulted in a decrease in levels of activity, with 167,500 adults now classed as inactive in North Yorkshire and York. It is concerning that in many cases the inequality gap has increased, with activity levels reducing in those on lower incomes, those who are female, and people with a long-term condition or a disability.
We've continued to target the most inactive of people to try and minimise the effect of the pandemic on their communities. Utilising our experience, network and local insight, we've invested funding from Sport England's Tackling Inequalities funds to those most in need. We worked with a women's charity in York, Kyra, to help them organise weekly yoga sessions, initially via Zoom, helping to address mental health difficulties, loneliness and a physical activity reduction due to the pandemic.
My name is Daniela, and I have been teaching Drew Yoga for Kyra for about 5 years now. There's been reports of sleeping better, feeling stronger, being able maybe to use a breathing technique at times when they feel extra stressed. As an example, one was the discipline of attending a weekly class has been really helpful for me during lockdown. It has helped my motivation and I felt much more positive about the future.
Sporting contexts, clubs and providers play an important part in their local communities. Many of these have been hit hard during the pandemic, with many losing members and face uncertainty over their future sustainability. To support these contexts, we have run a series of webinars using experts and people with experience in the subjects. Topics have included funding, marketing, and reopening. Our research suggests that 91% felt more confident as a result of attending, and 65% would make a change. We've also been involved in the launch of Yorkshire and Humber Learning Community, an online platform hosting bite-sized modules and learning content that is accessed virtually. 16 modules have been launched with over 2,600 learners and 4,600 module sign-ups. 90% of learners felt they were more skilled and 88% said they intend to make a change or implement something as a result of attending.
Go Lead is a leadership programme aimed at young people across North Yorkshire and York. The Sport England Children Active Lives survey shows that young people who take part in volunteering often report higher levels of mental wellbeing compared to those who don't. Go Lead is co-designed with former GB Olympic swimmer James Curtin and is made up of videos and tasks for young people to complete online. Hi, I'm Jodie from North Yorkshire Sport.
And I'm James Curtin, former Olympic swimmer and a current athlete mentor.
We've created a leadership programme to develop key skills to enhance your personal development and support your volunteer journey. There's a series of short videos around each of the key areas with a simple task to complete after.
These tasks are a chance for you to concrete the learning and give you an opportunity for some really good self-reflection.
Over 600 young people have started their Go Lead volunteer journey, pledging to get at least one other person active within their community. As a result of completing the online training, young people have reported improved mental well-being and confidence.
Strategic Goal 2 is to use the natural environment as a catalyst for wider health improvements. Spending time in green space and with nature can benefit both our mental and physical health, and since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, the outdoors has played an even more important role in maintaining our well-being. Sport England research shows that most adults have used physical activity to manage their physical and mental health throughout the restrictions, with running, cycling and walking all proving to be particularly popular. In North Yorkshire, the outdoors is our greatest asset, and we quickly adapted to create opportunities for North Yorkshire residents to be active within their local spaces throughout the restrictions.
North Yorkshire Sport and Dolby Forest jointly established a virtual 10k event. Entrants could walk, jog or run, and the distance could be split up into several smaller distances to encourage people of all abilities to get involved. We had 105 entries, and feedback from participants indicated that the event had provided a real boost and encouraged them to get out and be active. We have also hosted virtual versions of our popular Canicross events, with 102 participants entering across the series, completing routes of between 5 and 10 kilometres with their canine companions. Participants have shared how the virtual event provided them with some focus and purpose and encouraged them to go running again.
Our Strong and Steady programme supports individuals aged 65 plus who have had either a fall or are in danger of doing so. The programme would usually comprise of 12 weeks of sessions providing strength, balance and coordination exercises that help with everyday activities. When group sessions were unable to run during the pandemic restrictions, we identified Nordic walking as an outdoor alternative to help prevent trips and falls. 8 strong and steady instructors were supported to attend Nordic walking activator training for rehab professionals, which included 2 sets of walking poles for one-to-one sessions. So far, 40 participants have accessed the Nordic walking sessions. Dick has already achieved his target of 34 short walks and has totalled 95.5 kilometres and 177,202 steps, raising £1,103.95 for the British Red Cross Beirut emergency appeal.
Strategic Goal 3 is to contribute to children and young people fulfilling their potential and feeling happy and healthy. Last year has had a significant impact on the physical and mental well-being of children. Physical activity levels have dropped by 1.6%. However, this could have been worse had it not been for the collective efforts of partners in engaging young people in physical activity. Let's have a look at some of the work we've been doing and its impact.
Welcome to the North Yorkshire School Games Virtual Challenge with me, Teddy the Terrier. Each week we will release a video challenge, and all you need to do is video yourself completing the challenge and send it in to North Yorkshire Sport.
As soon as lockdown started, we moved swiftly to produce some personal challenge videos using Teddy the Terrier. We have also delivered a series of team and personal challenges with the school games organisers, with an offer to every school in the county. The virtual challenges have helped support teachers in school and also to help engage children during periods of lockdown. One example of the impact has been reported by the mum of Lola and Molly May, who used the challenges to keep the girls active during the first lockdown.
Last year we saw a rise in the antisocial behaviour. The children were getting bored, they were getting angry, there was a whole mix of emotions from these young people, and we felt that we had to act fast and do something just to make sure that they had some activities over the summer holidays, a safe place to visit. It just became apparent that it was very much needed. With over 60 children signed up, I think that in itself just proved how much it was needed and the difference that this made to the young people's mental health, their well-being, being able to come back to a safe place, being able to see familiar faces. That, you know, some of these children have built up relationships with us, so it's been quite difficult to not be able to provide the activities that they would normally have on their doorstep.
Yesterday I probably sat in my room on my phone. This is where we've been needed to help my friends because it feels like I ain't seen my friends in ages.
Young people were in greater need of support services during the pandemic, and we invested in Inspire Youth to work in Knaresborough, Starbeck and Ripon to increase physical activity levels and support mental well-being.
So we originally got funded to run in the community centre in the heart of Knaresborough, but it was actually facing closure. So I contacted North Yorkshire Sport and they were very supportive. So I kind of wanted to think outside of the box, and this is how the van came alive. And I wanted to give young people an opportunity to get involved in something more positive, be a bit more active, and I think that's what's really good about our sessions in general, is all the young people are aware that they can come and chat to us about stuff, and when things are a little bit tough that they can access support.
Like when I'm at school, I'm always waiting for the end of school so I can come here, and they're just really nice and kind, and it just makes it all better.
Strategic Goal 4 is to support improvements in the health and economic stability of work-age adults and families.
The latest Active Lives data shows that well-being has been positively associated with activity levels throughout the pandemic, with those who are active across a range of measures. The results show that active people have higher levels of mental well-being and social trust and are less likely to be lonely. Activity levels are lower for those who are unemployed or in low-skilled work, females and adults with long-term health conditions or disabilities. Our Action Towards Inclusion, ATI, programme provides flexible support to help adults overcome physical, social, psychological, financial and skills-related barriers to progress towards employment, training or education. Daniel was one of 12 people to join our ATI programme during 2020.
So my life I'd say, that mainly just because of the pandemic, it probably hasn't changed too much on the surface, but I feel like underneath it all, I'm in a much better place than I was for the most part. I still have kind of bad days and weeks and whatnot, but for the most part, I'm doing a lot better than I was, and that's mainly due to kind of working with yourself and Jodie and all the other kind of mentors and people. So I'd say if you're looking to kind of improve your life, if you have kind of hopes and ambitions, but you're kind of stalling a bit, you're not really sure how to put them in motion, I'd say this program's a really good place to start and work on kind of some of your insecurities. It's been kind of a real blessing, especially kind of during what's been going on in the world, just to have someone or people you can reach out to. That's been a big help.
During Mental Health Awareness Week from the 18th to the 24th of May 2020, we hosted a webinar called My Mind Matters, which explored the relationship between physical activity and mental health. The panel comprised of a series of professionals and those with lived experience. The webinar was attended by over 120 people and participant feedback was positive, with an average rating of 8.6 out of 10.
I think a big thing for me, like at the beginning of lockdown, there were so many people sharing things on Facebook, you know. I think someone quite famous shared a quote like, if you don't use this time to, you know, achieve something you've always wanted to achieve, then you're wasting your time. But I think you know, people need to ignore that and kind of get rid of any expectations that they've got on themselves for this time and just kind of just survive it. That's all we've got to do.
A responsible employer should value the health and well-being of their employees, and the last year has placed a greater emphasis on this. To support this, we launched the 12 Days of NYSMAS, a workplace wellbeing programme which focused on the 5 ways to well-being. The programme provided a daily activity for teams or individuals to take part in and to encourage them to focus more on their health. 64 workplaces signed up to take part, including Scarborough and Rydale Carers Resource, where they had 28 employees take part.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth McPherson. I'm the CEO of Carers Plus Yorkshire. The 12 days of NYSMAS had a ripple effect on our workforce, where we have continued to invest in staff wellbeing as we moved into the new year. Utilising the skills of a staff member who is also a personal trainer, we are now offering 2 lunchtime exercise classes every week, 1 Pilates and 1 fitness-based. As the content of session varies and is offered in work time, there is an opportunity for all to take part, no matter what ability.
We supported IDAS Harrogate, an independent domestic abuse support service, to access Tackling Inequalities funding through ourselves and Sport England. The project supported women and families being housed in refuge to be active through cycling, investing in ride leaders and bikes. A series of monthly rides were held, and the participants also used the bikes in between to be active on a more regular basis.
We've seen a large number of clients feeling isolated due to the pandemic for over a year now, but it is great to finally get out and about using pedal power and seeing the positive impact physical exercise can have on both our physical, social and mental health.
Strategic Goal 5 is to contribute to people ageing well and staying younger for longer.
Physical activity levels decline as we get older. Active Lives data understandably shows that the pandemic restrictions had a negative impact on participation levels, especially due to the requirement for those aged 70 and above to shield. This age group also saw large drops in happiness and life satisfaction and a rise in anxiety. Over the last 12 months, our work has focused on supporting the mental and physical well-being of our older population throughout the restrictions.
I'm freer, I'm not crunching and cricking and, yes, I can move. And it's giving me confidence. It isn't just the exercises, which are very important, but it's the head as well.
Right.
I think it helps you, because your coordination goes if you don't do anything.
Yes.
And then, once we've, hopefully, we'll be able to have the confidence to go out once we're let out now.
Yeah.
You've helped us to get on that road.
Yes.
To do it.
Yeah.
People, they should be queuing up to be on course, because it really does.
The impact of the Tackling Inequalities funding on our members really has been that they have had the opportunity to keep connected with us, to keep that connection going, to feel still part of the Dancing for Wellbeing community, to feel cared about. It's really important, and to use the props that we've sent them to keep fit, to actually see us online. And, we've had some lovely feedback from people saying how much that has meant to them. And it's not just about the physical, it's so much about that emotional uplift. We've all been so down, and they've had so much to cope with their own health problems, with their own family situations, and that isolation that they felt as well. So I think it has been a real lifeline actually for some of them. I was contacted by your director and just an email saying, how's it going, Jackie? Is there anything we can do to support you? And I can't tell you how much that meant to me, because we'd been applying for funding and we'd not been getting anywhere. And I was really, really worried about how we were going to cope. And I rang him and we had a discussion. North Yorkshire Sport, it was sort of made easy for us to apply for it, because, our area, what we do. Some of your people have visited our groups. We didn't have to over-explain and sort of prove ourselves like you do with some funding applications. So it really helped, I think, to have that knowledge, that you had that knowledge about us, and felt really supported. So I'm very, very grateful.
Strategic Goal 6 is to strengthen our organisational sustainability and maintain the principles of good governance and industry standards. The strength of the organisation is fundamental to provide a solid foundation for all of our work to take place. Without strong governance, thriving stakeholder relationships and ongoing achievement of industry recognised standards, we could not operate as efficiently or as effectively. Over the last year, we conducted a governance review which concluded that North Yorkshire Sport is a self-aware, well-governed organisation with a culture that has at its heart a commitment to quality assurance and continuous improvement.
Despite the challenging circumstances of the last year, the staff team feel valued and supported, and there's a supportive culture in place. All staff understand the purpose of the organisation and would recommend it as a place to work. There's a special dynamic in the team that's naturally very supportive and collaborative. We look out for each other and want everyone to succeed. I think we recognise each other's strengths and support each other where needed.
Our work relies on collaboration and partnerships, and we use our annual stakeholder survey to evaluate the success of these. Over the last year, 81% of our stakeholders agreed that working with us provides them with specific and unique benefits. 97% of partners agree there is trust and respect for each other. 87% agree that we understand their needs and priorities. And when asked, the most valuable services we have provided this last year have been in relation to dealing with the response to the pandemic, the continued joint working, and the support of the staff team. Here is the experience of one of our stakeholders.
I'm Marianne Jackson, and I head up a team from North Yorkshire County Council called Stronger Communities. Working with North Yorkshire Sport is always really, really rewarding and inspiring for the Stronger Communities team. They've got a really, really can-do attitude. Nothing is ever too much trouble. They're a joy to work with. If I was going to recommend working with North Yorkshire Sport, I'd say don't hesitate. Your work, probably your life, will be better for having them in it.
I hope you've enjoyed watching our Impact Report videos, and thank you to those partners who have worked with us over the past 12 months to help us make a positive change to the lives of people within North Yorkshire through sport and physical activity. It's been a turbulent year for many reasons, not least the pandemic, but also the bringing to the fore of issues of inequality. As a partnership, we've committed to tackling racism and racial inequality across North Yorkshire with a firm commitment at staff and board level to being an anti-racist organisation. We're committed to reducing further inequalities across North Yorkshire, and much of our work has been focused on those people and places most in need of support and intervention. I'm immensely proud of the work of our team and our partners for the way that they've adapted to a changing environment over the year by creating new and exciting ways for people to be active, despite the restrictions that we've all had in our daily lives. I'd like to add my thanks to our board of trustees who, like the staff team, have supported our work and ensured we remain a well-governed and financially secure charity. Thank you also to those organisations who continue to invest in us, including Sport England, the National Lottery, North Yorkshire County Council, as well as some of our district partners and North Yorkshire Police, to name a few. As we look to the future, I'm extremely optimistic about the future role of sport and physical activity and what it can play, not only in our region's recovery from the pandemic, but also in tackling the inequalities that exist in society and create a positive driver for change. North Yorkshire Sport will continue to play its part, and we look forward to working with many more partners in the coming year.